my channel and happy Monday. For those who don't know me, my name is Kristen Martin. I'm the best-selling author of 4 books, a writing coach, a podcaster, and a YouTuber. I created this channel in March of 2015 in the hopes that I could inspire aspiring authors along their writing journey while I shared some of the mistakes and the things that I've learned along my own writing journey. So if you're new here, welcome, we're happy to have you. And if you've been with me for a while, then welcome back. I know that we are in a little bit of a different setting here. Normally I film at my desk. Today I just felt like being in front of the bookshelf, so I hope that's okay. I don't really do much near my bookshelf, but I really like it and I want to enjoy it as much as possible. So we're sitting here today. But today's video is actually going to be the highly anticipated Q&A part 6. So I do have 5 other Q&A videos that I will leave linked in the description box below. So every once in a while, normally every quarter or so on Twitter, I will tweet out something that says, send me your questions, personal, writing related, whatever they may be. Use the hashtag AskMeKM. I'll pop that up on the screen right here so you can see what I'm talking about. Make sure you are following me on Twitter if you want to have the chance to have your question featured in one of my future videos and also answered. And real quick, I do want to remind you guys that in almost exactly a week, Be Your Own Hashtag Goals will be releasing, which is my personal development book. So I also wanted to make sure I announce that there will not be a video on Monday, April 30th. Instead, my video will be going live on Tuesday, May 1st. So again, no video next Monday, but it will be going up on Tuesday. I'm a little bit more organized this time around because I actually have all of the questions printed. I have them in order, so if you see me referencing this, it's because this is where all the questions are. Now, I did receive a lot of questions, as I always do. You guys always show up for me when I ask for questions for my Q&A videos. So I did kind of have to pick and choose, and to be fair, if you ask more than one question, I'm only going to take one of your questions so that way I can answer as many different people's questions as possible. And if your question is not answered this round, then just, again, make sure you're following me on Twitter, and that way you can ask it again for the next round of Q&As. All right, let's get this thing started. So the first question is from Anna Howell. She asks, how do I find critique partners if I'm not settled on a genre of my story and I'm also in a smallish town? Anna, this is a really great question. So first things first, I do think it's very important for you to settle on the genre of your story. I'm not fully sure how you can begin to write your story if you don't know what the genre is. And also, if you want to find beta readers and critique partners, you need to make sure you find people that enjoy reading in your genre. So that's key number 1. You have to make sure you have your genre figured out. I do have a video on how to determine what genre your book is, so I will link that up in the cards. And then to answer the second part of this question, being in a smallish town, so I'm actually in a pretty far removed town, like outside of Houston. So when I first started out, I really didn't have a writing community, but I actually posted to a Goodreads forum specifically for beta readers. So I would use online and the internet as much as you possibly can. Use Goodreads forums, go onto Wattpad, go onto Scribophile. Those last 2 I mentioned are specifically aimed at writers, and that is a great way to find people who can help critique your work and make it better. The next question is from J.E. Barkley. When you hear criticism of your novels, does it affect you or your writing? How do you overcome criticism and make it not eat you alive? Yes, criticism. So when I first started out, I will say that when I released the Alpha Drive, I did take criticism quite harshly, and I didn't have as thick of skin back then as I do now. So I have 4 books under my belt. I'm about to publish a 5th, and really what it's come down to is that I write my books for me. They're the stories of my heart, the stories that I want to read, and I wasn't able to find those books on the bookshelves. So they always say, if you can't find the story that you want to read, write it. So that's exactly what I did. So really what it comes down to with criticism is to just ignore it. Honestly, just ignore it, because everyone's going to have their own opinions. I've said this before in some of my other Q&A videos and a lot of my other videos actually, that I'll have one person reach out to me saying that I'm their favorite author and that, you know, X book was the best book that they've ever read. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I have someone emailing me telling me that I'm stupid, it's the worst book ever, yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, yeah, 2 ends of the spectrum. And my whole thing is I can't please everyone, nor do I want to. So I just focus on the people who are positive, who enjoy my work and my writing. I cater to them, I nurture them, I make sure I build up that community, and I focus on those people. I just ignore the naysayers and the haters because I don't have time for it. Also, if you find that criticism from others or negativity about your writing, your work, your life's purpose, whatever it is, if you find that it's really starting to get to you, this is going to be a little bit of a morbid kind of example or something I want you to think about, but If you were laying there on your deathbed, I highly, highly doubt you'd be thinking, oh my gosh, that one girl on Instagram or on Twitter tweeted about how she hated my book so, so much. No, you're not going to be thinking about that when you're laying on your deathbed. You're going to be thinking about this legacy you left behind because you decided to go for it and write all these books, write the books of your heart, inspire people, motivate people, change their lives through your writing. And that memory, that is what you're going to be thinking about when you're laying there on your deathbed, not about the, like 10 people that didn't like your book. Basically what I'm trying to say is screw them. In the grand scheme of things, haters don't matter. The next question is from TL Peterson. Over the years, what would you say has improved significantly in your writing? Ooh, this is a good question. So really, I think what has improved the most in my writing has been my voice. I feel as though in Shadow Crown, my voice truly came out with my characters, specifically with Braxton and Arden. So of course I'm constantly improving and I'm working on improving. There were some characters in the Shadow Crown series that are much harder for me to write for. I have found that as I've been writing that series, my voice is really coming out more and more. And I honestly think it's because I'm giving less bleeps about about just what other people think, because I want to write it the way I want to write it and it makes sense to me. And again, I'm writing it for me and that's all that matters. The next question is from Natalie Roberts. How did you stay motivated when going through your breakup? When I went through mine, I didn't write at all. Oh, Natalie, I'm so sorry to hear that. So definitely when you have a breakup going on, or maybe if you've lost a job or you've had some really significant thing happen in your life, a negative thing, it can be really hard to get out of bed in the morning sometimes, to get yourself up to write. For me, during my breakup, writing was actually very therapeutic for me. So it was the one thing that would get me out of bed in the morning. It was the one thing that made me want to continue on with my days, was to write. So it was and still is a kind of escape for me when I can just escape the real world and just dive into the world I've created. But I actually did a recent podcast on this. It's episode 37. It's That Smart Hustle on iTunes and SoundCloud, in case you don't know. But it's called Stop Discrediting Your Feelings. And in that podcast episode, I talk a lot about how some days we're just gonna have bad days. Not every day is gonna be a perfect day. And to just stop discrediting your feelings and actually go through those feelings, go through those emotions, get it all out there. Let yourself feel it. It's a part of life. It's a part of being human. You just have to go through these phases and these feelings and just do what you can to get yourself inspired and motivated to write. I know it's hard advice to say that, but like I said, for me, writing was my escape. So if you have something else that is an escape for you, then I would say to really go all in with that. And then eventually the inspiration to write will come back. The next question is from IH Reed. How long did it take you from beginning the editing process to releasing / hitting publish on your books? I've almost finished my draft and went to indie publish in January 2019. I just don't know if the timeline is realistic. So really the editing phase, it can really vary. So sometimes it can take 6 months, sometimes it can take a year. I think if you're wanting to publish January 2019 and we're in April 2018, I think that's a perfectly realistic goal. But again, it depends on your schedule and your timeline and what you have going on and how much time you can actually dedicate to editing. So for the Alpha Drive, the whole editing process took about 9 to 10 months. As I've gone through each book, it's gotten progressively a little bit shorter because I have my routine down and I've kind of got my mojo and I know what I'm doing. The next question is from Spencer Hoadley. What hobby or skill have you been interested in starting or learning but haven't? Love this question. So I've kind of mentioned that I've been wanting to learn French for a while. I mentioned that in my vlogs. I also mentioned that I want to learn to play piano. So those are two kind of skills / hobbies that I've really been wanting to learn but haven't truly gotten into. But something else I really want to pick up again, which I used to do a lot like 5 or 6 years ago before I really got into my writing, was painting. I used to just get giant canvases, and I'm a very abstract artist, so I don't actually paint like scenery and actual objects, but it's more of just, it's abstract. It's just kind of a blur of colors, and it would just be really nice to get back into painting. So okay, the next question is from Jessica Parnos. Do you ever find yourself looking at people and imagine a new protagonist for one of your books? I love your channel, and your channel actually helped me complete my first draft, so thank you a ton. Oh, Jessica, I love hearing that. This does happen a lot. If I'm people watching at the airport or just when I'm out and about, I will look at someone or look at the way they're behaving, how they're conversing with someone else, and it's funny how that does kind of give me an idea for a character, especially if it's more of a quirky type person and I'm looking to create a quirky type character. So yes, this does happen a lot more often than people might think. The next question is from Vanity Freak. What is your favorite part of the writing process? My favorite part of the writing process, hands down, is writing the actual book. I feel like that's no surprise there because I am a writer, but writing the actual book is my favorite part. I'm not a huge fan of outlining. I'm not a huge fan of editing. Going through the whole publishing process and formatting can be a little bit of a pain. So the actual writing, I think, will always remain my favorite part of the process. But I also do really like brainstorming ideas and kind of having them all come together and sort of start to form a cohesive story. So when I'm getting those ideas, that's also really exciting. But writing the book is my favorite part. The next question is from Jacinta Hudson. I know you're keeping all the details for your international book tour under wraps, but I'm wondering if you have a rough time in mind, like late this year, early next year, late next year, that you wouldn't mind sharing with us. Because I have so much travel coming up this year, especially in, well, the summer and in the fall, I will not be able to do my international book tour this year, but I am planning on it for next year. As far as timing goes, I'm really not sure, but I would think it would be late spring, early summer, so probably around the same time that this book tour is, or possibly a little later, because I do plan on attending BookCon again next year. So depending on how things work out, it might be in June, July timeframe, could be August. I don't really know yet, but make sure you're following me on social media, most notably Instagram, because that's where I tend to post everything and I'll blast it out. Also, make sure you're signed up for my newsletter at KristenMartinBooks.com. That comes out once a month, and that's also just a giant brain dump of all the stuff I've got going on. The next question is from Chelly LS. Would you mind suggesting some podcasts about self-publishing and personal development? By the way, That Smart Hustle is amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. So as far as podcasts go, I am a regular listener of Style Your Mind by Kara Alwaleba. That one I highly, highly recommend. She has almost like 100 podcast episodes out there, and they're all absolutely incredible. So I definitely check those out. I also do listen to Girl Boss Radio with Sophia Amoruso. And then I also do listen to TED Talks. So I do listen to TED Radio Hour. So that's another one that I really enjoy listening to on my long drives. The next question is from Moise Ahmed. What is the genre you've always wanted to write but couldn't for some reason? I think I may have answered this question in one of my past Q&As, but I can't really remember. But I've actually always really wanted to write contemporary novels, and I truly thought that my first books, or the route that I was going to go, or the genre that I was going to write, would be in the contemporary genre. And it's funny because if you follow me for a while, then you know that The Alpha Drive was originally a new adult contemporary, and it is now a young adult sci-fi dystopian novel. So I think with contemporary, I don't know what it is. I love reading contemporary novels, but I don't know, for some reason I just feel like I can't write it. I don't know how to explain it other than that. I just feel like my brain is not wired to be able to write contemporary. So we only have time for a few more questions. The next one is from Michaela Hood. If all of your characters were to go on a road trip, who would need the most pit stops? This is really funny, actually. So for the Alpha Drive series, I definitely think that Rhea would need the most pit stops on a road trip, and that's just because she just always has something going on. She's always got something that she needs to be doing or something that she needs to go get. So I just imagine her to be someone that would need to be stopping constantly for a lot of pit stops on a road trip. And then for the Shadow Crown series, it's actually kind of difficult, but I do think it would be Estelle, since she is a cloaker. I do think she would really enjoy having a lot of pit stops and being able to cloak herself and just go cause some mischief at wherever the pit stop was. Okay, and the last question is from the Word Seamstress. How do you get your planned writing/editing or any other author podcast related work done when you are not well? So if I'm being totally transparent, when I am not well or I'm not feeling well, I don't get my author podcast stuff done. If I'm not feeling well or I'm sick, I take that as a sign for my body that I need to rest and relax and recoup, and that I've been working myself to the bone. You know, just that I've been working way too hard. So I actually don't get stuff done, and I'll just announce on social media that I'm not feeling well or that I need a break or this is why I've been absent. It's important to take a break. And my whole thing is, when you're not well or you're feeling sick, I don't think that's something that's going to last forever. And again, it's a sign that you need to take care of yourself and you need to prioritize your health and your self-care first. Your health is most important. All the other stuff can wait. So that is it for this Q&A part 6. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up to support my channel. You can also support me through my Jubilant link, which is listed in the description box below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. All of my Amazon best-selling books, The Alpha Drive, The Order of Omega, Restitution, and Shadow Crown, are available for purchase on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, as well as the Book Depository and Books A Million. You can also add the newest book in the Shadow Crown series, Renegade Crew, to your Goodreads TBR list. You can find that link in the description box below. And my upcoming personal development book called Be Your Own #Goals will be releasing on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon US and Amazon UK. You can also go to my website at KristenMartinBooks.com and click on the Buy Books tab to reserve your autographed copy today. All of those links are in the description box below. If you are a fan of audiobooks, make sure to check out my affiliate link with Audible in the description box below. You can get a free audiobook download and a free 30-day trial for their service. There is a freebie up on my website at KristenMartinBooks.com called Write Your Book in 3 Months. And that guide is a great precursor to the types of things that we go over in my self-study coaching program for writers called VALIANCE. Registration is still open for VALIANCE. To get all of the details on the pricing and modules, make sure to check out the links in the description box below. And there is another freebie up on my other website at thatsmarthustle.com called 5 action steps you can take right now to start showing up for your dreams. If you benefit from that guide, then you will absolutely love my mini webinar series called Hustle Smarter, Not Harder. To learn more, read testimonials, and sign up, go to thatsmarthustle.com and click on the webinars tab on the menu bar. And if you just can't get enough of the girl boss vibes, make sure to check out my podcast. It's called That Smart Hustle, available to listen on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can find the links in the description box below. If you're not already following me on social media like Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, make sure you do that for daily writing inspiration and advice, as well as to stay up to date on any price promotions, announcements, or giveaways that might be going on. If you have any questions or think of a topic for one of my next videos, please leave it in the comments down below. Again, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. I post new writing advice videos on Mondays and personal day in the life vlogs on Thursdays. I will see you guys next time. Bye.